Welcome to Abundant Life Lifestyle Center. Today we are going to study how to do a rough Russian steam bath at home and what are the benefits of a steam bath and why is it necessary at this time. So there are a lot of studies that have found benefits of a sauna. Sauna is basically a heated room either through infrared rays or through steam, where people can sit in the room and their internal body temperature is raised. And studies have found that in Finland, where people do many saunas, those who did saunas more than 3 to 4 times a week had lesser chances of developing pneumonia or a chest infection, and they recovered much faster from cough and cold and respiratory infections. And they also had many other benefits with respect to decreased cardiovascular mortality and many other parameters. In Finland, the practice is that they sit in a sauna and then immediately take a cold bath in a cold spring, and this is a general practice in Finland. More than 90% people take sauna baths in Finland, and it is very common there. And it has been found these sauna baths have been useful in preventing infections such as respiratory infections. So that's why we are discussing about this here. And a sauna bath is not very different from a steam bath. Today we are going to see how people can do a Russian steam bath at home. A steam bath basically utilizes steam to increase body temperature, and a Russian steam bath basically implies that your whole body is being heated up while your head remains outside. In a Russian steam bath, this is specifically done so that the air that you breathe is actually at a normal room temperature while your whole body temperature is being raised. Okay, so now why are we studying about a steam bath? A steam bath has many health benefits, as I mentioned, and some of the key benefits are that a steam bath decreases blood pressure. It increases the immune function of the body and stimulates immunity. A steam bath increases antioxidant effect and decreases pro-inflammatory substances. It also decreases total cholesterol, triglycerides. It lowers the bad cholesterol or the LDL cholesterol and increases good cholesterol or HDL cholesterol. Now, there are many benefits of a steam bath, including the benefits of overcoming coughs and colds and infections. The principle behind the steam bath is that when the core body temperature is raised to 100, 101 or 102, the immune system becomes more active, viral replication decreases, and thus you have a better chance of fighting off an infection. So let's understand this. When the core body temperature is raised, your macrophages and natural killer cells are increased. Heat shock proteins become more activated, and these are crucial in fighting off an infection. Especially this is included in improving your innate immunity, and hence this is very crucial at this time where there's a COVID-19 pandemic going on in the world. Now, a steam bath is not affordable for everyone. They are found in spas and big resorts where people take it for luxury and leisure. But at this time of crisis, it is necessary. It would be beneficial if everyone took a steam bath. In fact, cases in Finland compared to Nordic countries are very less when it comes to COVID-19 infection. And the mortality has also been lower. One aspect of this could be due to the benefit of the saunas that they take, followed by immediate cold plunge. So let's try to understand this. So we would like to demonstrate how you can do a steam bath at home with the things that you have at home. Now, a steam bath is indicated for many reasons. Many studies have been done, especially for people who have congestive heart failure, that a steam bath is very beneficial. Deaths due to sudden cardiac death are decreased in cardiovascular patients, and also steam bath can be used for just for general boosting your immune system and for many other reasons. Now, who should not do a steam bath? It's very important to understand this. People with cardiac arrhythmias who have rhythm problems of the heart should not take a steam bath without supervision. People who had a recent heart attack should not take a steam bath without supervision. And those who have a fever already, where their core body temperature is already raised and their heat dissipating mechanisms are hampered, it's not advisable to take a steam bath. So it's important that the person does not have a fever and that they don't have any heart rhythm problems and that the patient has not had a recent myocardial infarction. Now, people with low blood pressure have a relative contraindication because the blood pressure tends to fall a little by about 10 millimeter of mercury, and then this can be an issue for people who have low blood pressure and who are having symptoms of low blood pressure. So that's another relative contraindication. So with by contraindication, I mean that these people should not try to do the steam bath at home on their own. So today we are going to demonstrate to you how you can do a Russian steam bath at home with the simple things that you have at home. Okay? In order to help us do this demonstration, we have a therapist here and she is going to help us to show what things are needed. You just need a simple gas stove or an induction stove, anything that can heat up water and produce steam. We have a gas stove and a cooker. The lid of the cooker, instead of having the whistle over it, we have just connected a pipe. This pipe is a simple like a rubber pipe that is used for gas cylinders, and this pipe has a hole at the end which is going to be our steam outlet. So water gets heated up in the cooker and steam comes out through the pipe. Along with that, we need a few other sheets and blankets and towels which we have in display. A simple white sheet is there. This is going to be laid over the patient, and below the white sheet you will see two woolen blankets. These blankets, either one or two, you can use depending on the size that you have, and these are going to help secure the heat and to make a tent around the patient. We also have three small towels, two of which are going to be used for applying cold compress over the head, and another towel that is going to help us to wipe the sweat from the face of the patient. There are two thermometers, one infrared thermometer and one simple digital thermometer. These are going to be used to record body temperature. We also have some spirit filled cottons. This is just going to be used to disinfect the thermometers. So with all these things in place, we will just turn on the gas stove, and then once the water is ready, we can bring in the patient. So we have two people here who are going to help us do this treatment, but most cases you can just have one person who can help do the treatment for you. So the patient is kept made to sit on a chair. The chair, preferably a wooden one or a steel one. Plastic does not tolerate heat so well, but that would be all right if you don't have anything else. You can use a stool also. So once the patient sits on the chair comfortably and you've made sure that the patient already does not have fever, you made sure the patient does not have any heart conditions such as arrhythmia, and that the patient is not a patient who has very low blood pressure, then you can start the treatment. So now we are going to make a tent using the sheets that we have. So the white sheet will go around the patient and in such a way that the patient is completely wrapped around, and the chair also. So it is necessary to take care that the sheet goes all around the patient and the chair so that it forms a tent where steam can go in and there will be no place for the air to come out, the steam to come out. This ensures that the temperature or the steam inside will raise the body temperature. So you can see this is a simple bed sheet that can be used, not necessarily white. Any bed sheet can be used at home, and it is secured with a pin at the back. Okay. Now around this sheet we can have a woolen and a blanket go around the patient. We have some flannel cloth. You can use a woolen blanket, anything that can help secure the heat inside. This is a short treatment, so simple woolen blanket would do just half an hour, so you don't need to have any plastic sheet around. So you can see again the woolen blanket is going all around the patient. You can use one or two blankets to secure this. The more blankets would make it easier to heat up, and so you can use more than one blanket. So as they are doing this, care should be taken that the neck is also completely covered and closed, and the patient at the same time feels comfortable. You can see here the blankets have created a tent around the chair from the neck down. The head remains outside. In a Russian steam bath, the head remains outside. This is so very good for respiratory infections, because in a sauna, when your head is inside and the temperature of the air that you breathe in is higher, what happens is that your breathing becomes shallow, gas exchange is decreased, and we don't want these effects to happen in our steam bath, especially with the COVID infection going on. So you can see here the patient is completely wrapped and the tent goes all around, and make sure the patient is comfortable, and then you can have the steam go inside the tent. So we can put the tube inside the chair so that the steam would start going in. Now you can see that it is a very simple setup, and anyone can do it at home. In case you don't have a tube, you can use various other ways of heating up, and there are many ways you can use your own ingenuity to heat up. Now, when this is set and the steam starts going in, slowly the body temperature would start rising. And this will become more evident as the patient would start sweating. We should understand that sweating is a compensatory mechanism of our body to dissipate heat. As more heat is generated inside and the body starts heating up, body will try to sweat it off. Now, in a steam bath, in a setup like this, it is possible to raise the core body temperature to 101 or 100, 102, depending on how much steam you put in, how long a patient stays there, and how good is your tent that, and how long it can maintain the heat. So the procedure is done for about half an hour. But when this happens, when you see the patient sweating, you need to put a cold cloth around the neck. For this, you need a basin with some ice inside the basin, and you see here a basin with ice, and a cold cloth is wrung inside the water and wrung and kept over the head. It is necessary to bring the water well so that it does not drip over the patient's face, and this is kept over the forehead. This is done to make sure that there is no congestion of blood in the head, and that the patient temperature also is maintained in this way, especially for the head. So now, when the patient's temperature starts rising, as I said, the patient would start sweating, and this cold cloth around the head has to be changed every 2 minutes. So that is why we have one more cloth which will be kept inside the ice water. So we have another cloth which is going to be kept in the ice water, and that will be made ready. After 2 minutes, we are going to bring that cloth and change this cloth. Now, while the cloth is kept inside and the patient is being given this treatment, you can hold the cloth around the forehead with your hand, or you can put a pin around it. So now it depends on the patient's comfort. Some people are not comfortable with a cold cloth around the forehead, so you can put a cold cloth around the neck, which is also fine. And what it does is, especially if you put it around the neck, after about 15-20 minutes the body reacts, and you have increased circulation going on to the brain, so person does not feel giddy. As the patient starts sweating, you will have to wipe the sweat from off the patient's face. The patient actually sweats all over the body, but what you can see is over the face, and that is the most distressing. Especially the patient cannot do anything to wipe off the sweat, so you need to have a cloth that will help, that can be used to wipe off the sweat carefully, such that the patient feels comfortable. You can see that a patient is sweating and dehydration can take place. Now you must understand the whole tent inside is getting hot and they're sweating all over the body. Sweating is actually a mechanism the body uses to dissipate heat, and as the core body temperature rises, the sweating also increases. Now what should we do? We should make sure the patient has plenty of water, and our goal is not to decrease the body temperature but rather to increase. So one of the best things that can be done is to have the patient drink hot water. Hot water will increase body temperature again. So as the patient starts sweating, you can give more water to drink. If you have a straw that can be bent, it is more comfortable for the patient to drink water through the straw. And as hot water is consumed, body temperature rises even further. It is alright to increase the body temperature to about 103 or even 104. Many studies have shown the safety of increasing the temperature to 104. It is not dangerous at all. But for safety's sake, we recommend that people don't raise the body temperature over 103. Body temperature can be measured with using a simple thermometer that anyone has at home. So now we are going to show you that you can measure body temperature for a patient who is under a steam bath. In a Russian steam bath, this is possible as the head remains outside. So we are using a digital thermometer which is cleaned nicely and inserted in the patient's mouth. The patient may not feel fully comfortable while they're doing it, so we help the patient to balance the thermometer. They don't have their hands free, so we still hold on to the thermometer while the patient has it in the mouth. There is no need to measure the thermometer usually. Most people do not have their body temperature raised over 103. Usually it's about 100, 101, and the higher that we raise, the more benefits that we have, up to 103. But we are just demonstrating it for you so that you understand the principles on how it works. So while the temperature is being measured, and we also can increase the temperature according to the need by giving more hot water. In case the patient feels uncomfortable, complains of dizziness or restlessness, you can always abort the treatment. People who are not used to steam inhalations sometimes tend to not tolerate heat for more than 10-15 minutes. When people are used to this, and young patients are able to tolerate it for 20 minutes or even half an hour, and it is alright to do that. So now you hear the beep and the body temperature is measured. So here it is just 99.2 because we are measuring it quickly for the sake of the video, but the temperature would rise, and that is how you are going to get the benefits of the steam bath. As I said, every 2 minutes the cold cloth on the head has to be changed, and the person giving the treatment would notice that the cold cloth has already gotten heated up, and this has to be changed with another cold cloth. And as the another cold cloth is being wrung out and this removed, it can be replaced easily. Make sure that there is no water dripping from the cold cloth and that the cold cloth is kept over the forehead again. Now, while sweating occurs, yes, sweat removes a lot of electrolytes, especially sodium chloride, and also some toxins. But the main mechanism of action of the steam bath is not toxin removal. That is mostly done by the kidneys and the intestines and the liver. But the steam bath helps in improving the immunity, which is so very important for COVID-19 patients. As I mentioned earlier, natural killer cells, leukocytes, our activity is increased, and heat shock proteins are more effective in this case. And not only that, the quantity, the number of cells that are there in the steam bath are also in the body are also increased. So number of natural killer cells and leukocytes are also increased. It has been found that immediately following a steam bath or anything that will increase the core body temperature, if it's followed by immediate cooling off, the benefits remain for a longer time. Okay, so at the end of the treatment, when we complete the treatment, we generally recommend that the patient would take a cold bath for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, or you could just do a cold rub over the body, not with too much friction, but because we do not want to stimulate a reaction, we just want to restore the skin temperature back to what it was before we started treatment. So let us demonstrate this. While we do this, now we'll slowly unpack the patient and demonstrate to you what is supposed to be done. We can start off by turning off the gas and by taking off the tube that is bringing in the steam. And now we will remove the cold cloth over the forehead. You can wipe off the sweat that is there on the face also of the patient while you are doing this, and you can start slowly removing the woolen flannel cloths. As you can see, the woolen flannel cloths or the warm blankets that you kept are being slowly removed, and as it is being removed, the patient is instructed not to get up quickly. The patient is just instructed to wait patiently, cause steam bath decreases blood pressure, and if the patient tries to get up on their own, it may happen that they may feel dizzy or may have loss of balance. So it is best that the patient sits still while the blankets are being removed. Once the blankets are removed, you will see that the steam would go off from inside, and then the patient can be slowly helped. You can ask the patient whether the patient is comfortable and whether the patient has been doing well, and if there is any concerns that the patient has, you can address that concern. You can see as the clothes are removed, the patient would actually remain with minimal clothes on, because we want to have the steam directly go on to the body. The moist heat is much better than dry heat. When in infrared saunas, it is dry heat, but moist heat tends to penetrate more. So a steam bath with minimal clothes on will be the best thing that can be done. So as it penetrates deeper and has a greater effect on the circulation. So now the patient can be slowly helped and taken out, but we want to show you how to do a cold rub over the body. You can, instead of doing the cold rub, ask the patient to take a cold shower for just 5 minutes, but a cold rub can also be done. During the rubbing, we don't rub hard, we just do it lightly, because we don't want to generate a reaction. We just do it for long enough, so that slowly and long enough we do, so that the body temperature will be restored to what it was before we started the treatment. All over the body it has to be done, not one part should be missed, and for the sake of the video we wouldn't be doing the whole thing, but you can have the thing be done all over the body. Now in a center like this, we would use a surface thermometer to check the temperature of the body surface when we initially started the treatment, and we can check it after doing the cold rub. The goal is to bring back the surface temperature back to what it was before we started the treatment. So it is around the same here, 94, and so this ensures that there is no reaction. This ensures that the body temperature would be maintained longer and the effects of the heats would remain longer. Now the patient is slowly helped to stand up and taken to and asked to rest for some time. At least 1 hour of rest is ideal following a steam bath, so that we have maximum effects of the steam bath. So as you saw, it is not difficult to do a steam bath at home with the things that you have. Now you must understand that it is a very simple thing. At the same time, it needs to be done with care. You should take care that you do not burn the patient when you insert the tube below the chair. You should not put it right near the leg where it can burn them. You should ensure that the patient is comfortable by repeatedly asking them, and you should also ensure that they are getting enough water. As I said, the steam bath can have some side effects, which include dehydration, which also includes they may have some dizziness after the procedure. So when you take the patient up out of the chair, make sure that you support the patient and you are in a position where you can hold them in case they are a little wobbly. When you do this, you should also remember that you need to keep a cold cloth over the forehead. This is also very important. In case the body temperature rises above what is good for them, it is necessary that you have a cold cloth over the forehead. And when you take all these precautions, it is just something that will make the procedure comfortable, and the patient would actually feel good after the procedure. You will feel that the muscles are more relaxed and they are much more flexible after being heated up, and the immunity is much more stronger. If you do the steam bath, it is preferable to do it more in the morning hours where it is not very hot, especially with summer coming in, and if you do a steam bath, anyone can feel more weak. So preferably do it late in the evening or early morning. And how often should you do this? It is recommended that you do it 4 to 5 times a week, so that you can decrease your chances of getting COVID infection by 50%. Even if you get the COVID infection and you do this for 4 to 5 times a week, you can decrease the chances of developing a serious infection. People with diabetes and high blood pressure can also do this treatment. It is not a contraindication if you have diabetes or high blood pressure. Even heart disease is not a contraindication, but do consult with your doctor or healthcare provider if you have had a recent heart attack, or if you have any other rhythm problems with the heart. In case someone is very weak and old, it is difficult for them to sit for a long time. You can do the whole thing while they are on the bed. You just have to modify the treatment such that they are getting all the things while they are lying on the bed, and it would require some ingenuity to make a tent, but it is possible for them also to get this treatment. So, even though we are in the midst of a pandemic, some simple steps like this can help us to fight the infection off better. And let's remember, steam bath is not something that is going to save you completely. You still have to practice social distancing. You still have to do everything to prevent from getting the infection, and you have to have a healthy lifestyle so that the effects of the steam bath are also better. It has been found that people who exercise, who eat a healthy diet, who have a lifestyle, have a better immune response when they do a steam bath. And the more frequent you do this steam bath, the more better your immune system gets tuned to this, and you have a better response. So remember, a steam bath is not going to change everything, but definitely has benefits. You see, God has given us all these simple measures that anyone can use, the rich and poor, anyone can use if you apply our energies and our minds to do these things. And these things are very easy to be done at home and have very good benefits. So we would encourage you to do these remedies at home. Simple treatments, even if you have mild symptoms, don't hesitate, don't waste time. Just do whatever you can that you can do, and leave the rest to God. We must remember that when we do all we can from our side, God is ready to bless us. And the results that we would get through simple natural methods would be blessed, and God would give a supernatural results. So always remember, ask God to bless your treatment and to give you the skill to do these treatments, and also to cover up for any deficiencies that you may have when you do the treatment. So we thank you for your patient listening, and we encourage you to do these things, and you can comment or ask questions if you have any at the bottom of the video.